You see? Maybe I do know what's going on. And maybe I do know what's going on in the sense, yes, there's this person talking and I'm feeling this way. All that might be true, but it might turn out to be not the whole thing. Maybe this person who's talking is really not a person who's talking. Maybe it's an alien. Right? So basically, it's a matter of some kind of humility, some kind of a place of recognition of limitations. Recognizing that we don't really know much, that what we know is very little. Right? And since there's a natural tendency to want to be near the truth, to find the truth, if we just recognize that we don't know, and there's something happening, at some point that the curiosity will be activated. And also, it's not an either-or thing. It's a process. Things can build on themselves. There's a momentum that can happen. Things can deepen, intensify. The curiosity itself can develop. The love for the truth can be allowed to emerge and deepen itself. We can have more patience, more determination, more openness, more willingness to accept our unknowing, our ignorance. All these are developmental things, you see. Okay. So this will be the last question.
I'm just started to learn some of your work and read your books, and the thing that I keep getting stuck on is the relationship between self-image and essence, and the essence qualities. And I'm wondering that if the self-image is dissolved, or you could see through the conceptual nature of it in order to be present, in order to have your true nature qualities present, isn't there something that your true nature and your essence is still being experienced through, in terms of form, in terms of a different kind of self-image? Or that's kind of where I'm confused.
Yeah, so it's more like our normal experience is characterized or determined by the fact that we look at ourselves and look at the world through concepts and images of things. We don't experience things directly. So the more we see through these images or those concepts, the more we're seeing things more directly, more immediately, right? And so it's not an either-or thing. It's can be a gradual thing, that the more of those veils or most of those concepts of self-image we see through, the more we experience ourselves and the world as it is. And sometimes we might experience some deep truth, as you mentioned, essential qualities, for instance. And it's true, we have maybe penetrated a particular identity, which allowed us to see through nature and this particular quality. But usually at the beginning, there's still an overall other kind of images that we're looking at things through. And that's why we're just seeing one particular quality arising in this place, for instance, instead of seeing the nature of all of existence, because there's still forms and images. So, at least in the work we do, it's a gradual thing of seeing through them. And at some point, when we say there are no images, we see one can experience oneself without images, without concepts. Does not mean there are no forms thing. It doesn't mean people lose their arms and legs and and become sort of ephemeral. It doesn't mean that. It's more like those forms continue to exist, but it's more like you're looking at them from the perspective of their elementary particles. You know how the physical body is composed of atoms, and the atoms composed of elementary particles. So all of this universe is composed of elementary particles. So you can see the elementary particle, and you could perceive from the perspective of the elementary particles. So you could see the ground of everything, the nature of everything. But at the same time, that doesn't eliminate the bodies. You could still see the body, but you recognize there are manifestations of the elementary particles. Because you continue to see the elementary particle, even though you see the forms. So what happens is that you see the final truth and the usual forms at the same time, completely inseparable. It's more like the forms that you see become totally transparent. You see, not transparent in the sense I look at the person and see the person behind them. I don't mean that. I mean transparent. I look at the person and I see the nature that is its depth. See, and then you could look everywhere. You see the nature that is the depth of everything. So the forms don't go away, but those forms are not images in our mind. Those forms are reality itself is manifesting. The barriers are the images that we create in our own mind, that we develop, and we use as lenses through which to look at the world and at ourselves. Those we need to see through. Those can dissolve. But the forms in the world don't dissolve, don't go away, you see. Although I can experience myself as the sky, as an empty space, nothing there, that doesn't mean the body is gone. You see, it's more like the body seems to be made out of space. You see, made out, it's empty and light, and almost like light, for instance. So is everybody else. So the form, the shape, but the shape of the body actually is not an image in my mind, although I can use that image to look through at myself. But if I don't look at myself through the image of the body, what happens is that I don't experience myself to have a shape. I don't have a shape. I don't have a form, right? And to know the shape of the body, I have to touch it or look at it. See, but the consciousness resides in some place that's shapeless. You see. So I think this should do it for tonight, and I hope that my attempt is just to give you an idea about inquiry, which is what the subject matter of the book. So it's just a little bit of an introduction, really, what the subject matter of the book is about. The book has a lot more details, and the book basically goes through how this inquiry relates to true nature, to the ultimate truth.
This has been a presentation of Diamond Heart and Training Institute. Audio, video, and monographs, also known as DHAT AVM. For a catalog and ordering information for other tapes and videos of talks by A.H. Almaas, please call area code 510-841-1283. Go in truth and live in presence.